meditation. Good vibrations.
Hello everybody, Julia from Hummingbirdjewel Enterprises. Today I'd like to talk about vibrational readings and what they're like and how they are given by me. So I have two types. I do either email readings or I do phone video. I guess that's three types. So we could have the email reading, in which I receive your name and date of birth and a couple of topics if you'd like. Don't really get into a lot. I don't want to know a lot about your background, especially if you're a new client. But if you want me to focus on, relationships and or career or health matters or something like that, then I do a general reading on you, and it's all typed out. And I utilize the tarot. I don't know if you're all familiar with the tarot. The story behind the tarot is that the Romans were persecuting the Jews and their religious beliefs. And so the Jews had the mystical Kabbalah, and they decided to hide their secrets in the playing cards. So the tarot is the deck that I use, the Rider-Waite deck, is highly biblical, has a lot of symbolisms from the Bible. And so I will lay out the tarot spread, I do a prayer for you, and then I hand type it all out. So I utilize the symbolism in the cards, and each card can mean a lot of different things. The meaning of one card can have 20 to 30 different interpretations. But so I will figure out what it means for you. And then I also am clairvoyant, and so I receive incoming message from, I call me angels. Incoming, I call it. And so I have a little combination of utilizing the tools of the tarot and my gifts. So I'll type it all out for you, and then I'll send it to you in email. Now, each email reading is a full reading. I don't do like shorter versions of it. It has to be a full reading because it takes me from minimum of 1 hour and usually much longer, like up to 2 hours, just because I'm typing everything out. Not that I'm not a quick typer. It's just that sometimes a lot of information comes through. So each email reading does come with a 15-minute phone conversation if you would like. If you need some explanation, I can try to help figure out what it means, because I'm on one side of the street here and I don't really know what's going on in your life. So I always hope it makes sense. Honestly, I don't know that if I've ever had anybody call me and say, I don't really understand what that part was about. They just said it makes sense to them, and I'm like, I'm curious. Wonder what that was about. But they will seem to know. My clients seem to know. So those are really wonderful and fun to do. The other readings I do by telephone, of course, and those can be shorter, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. If you do book a full hour, I will give the people that book full hours probably a little more time than an hour. I usually ask them to set aside an hour and a half, and they're just a lot of fun. If you do it by Zoom or Skype, you can see me and we can talk back and forth, and I can show you the cards and everything, so that's kind of fun. You can record the Zoom. So I know people love the email because they can write it. It's in writing, so they can go back. Yeah, but now with Zoom, you can record. And if you want, if we're doing a phone reading, you can record it. I don't mind, I appreciate that you want it. So they're very wonderful. They're spiritual. It's great to see what just happens, and it's amazing what comes through. I also like to think of myself more than just a card reader. Like, I like to help people. And so if after the reading I figure out there's an area that you might need some assistance in, like say you're just a beginning meditator, I can give you some tools and techniques and teachers that have worked for me or for other people. Or maybe it's relationships and you're trying to find the love of your life. I definitely have tools for that, and suggestions and in all areas, actually: finance, relationships, health, healing, all kinds of really wonderful things. So usually after your reading, I'll be sending you some YouTubes or some books that you might want to read, things that apply to your life. So that's about it in a nutshell. I'd love to do a reading for you. It's one of the most precious and most intimate things. My favorite thing is when I do readings, and a mother will say, will buy a reading for her child and have me read her, her son or her daughter. It's just like, oh my gosh, that's just like the greatest honor, honor of all. Usually they're email readings, and then I'll send them. And so you can also gift me if you want to gift a reading to somebody else that might need it too. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you're having just a fabulous day. I love you all. Mwah.